Welcome to Vibe Bite. I'm Liam, and this is Mia.
Hello, friends.
Today we're diving into bold opinions about dating. We'll hear from a woman who's totally against dusty men and prefers winners over compromises. Plus, we'll talk about why women complain about modern dating when they've got so many options but still choose guys who aren't ready for something serious.
If you like the video, hit thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're aiming for 5,000 subscribers by year end. We need your help. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's explore this crazy dating world together.
My theory is that men from 30 to 33 to 34, give or take, they're in that early 30s crisis, just as most people are after they graduate college, like the early mid-20s crisis. You have another one in your early 30s, especially as a man, because you realize that, oh my God, I'm in my 30s now. And you either realize you want to continue to send it for the next few years before you hit your mid-30s, or you're like, oh, fuck, now I want to maybe get married or have a serious prospect of a girlfriend. Or
So wait, she seriously thinks that men in their early 30s go through some kind of crisis?
Yeah, apparently if a man starts thinking about what he wants in life at this age, it must be some kind of crisis.
Right, because God forbid a man starts thinking about stability or what he actually wants from life. No, that's definitely a crisis.
She seems to think that men panic about marriage or serious relationships just because they no longer want to be with anyone. Maybe it's not even a crisis, but just common sense.
Exactly. It's called maturing and realizing that you don't want to waste time on shallow things anymore. Men start to see who and what is actually worth their time.
I wonder if she should think about why the word stability immediately triggers thoughts of some kind of crisis.
Yeah, and if it makes someone anxious, maybe the problem isn't with the man deciding to think seriously, but with the fact that it makes someone uncomfortable.
In the end, it seems that when men figure out what they want in life, they suddenly find themselves in some kind of crisis. It's like blaming someone for finally realizing their time is valuable.
Funny, isn't it? When a woman decides to finally get the best out of life, it's called self-development, but when a man does the same, he's in a crisis.
So should we wait for women to diagnose every stage of a man's life, or maybe give men the right to decide what's important for themselves?
Do girls check out guys?
Obviously, yes.
Yeah, definitely we do.
100%. Yes, a little bit.
Always, yeah.
I think sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Yes, of course.
I would say my friends do. I definitely do.
Yes, of course they do.
Is there any type of guy that they check out?
Maybe the bad types.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Muscular guys.
Okay.
Well, if they look good or if they look interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, if it's intriguing, then you're going to look at it, right?
I do get this question a lot, are you single by choice? And I know a lot of you want me to say, no, I'm not single by choice. Nobody wants to get with me because I called myself a sluzzer for 2 years online. But that is not the truth. You know, people that are emotionally mature don't really care about that kind of thing. And that is from real studies that I've done myself through dating, okay? Well, maybe a few of them care, but who cares? Am I single by choice? I don't know. Do I want a boyfriend? Yes. Can I be asked to find one? No. It is actually hell out there. It's hell. It's hell. Especially as you get older. Guys, I'm freaking out. I can't be asked. And I want to have kids in 2 or 3 years. And it's not looking good for me right now. Just a lot of effort. And I don't know if you guys have been on first dates. If you've been on a first date, they're not fun. First dates are rarely fun. I've probably been on 2 fun first dates in my whole life. So yes, I am single by choice now, but in the grand scheme of things, I do want a boyfriend. It's just
So she's single by choice, but then says dating is hell and she can't be bothered? That doesn't sound like a choice to me.
I get it, dating can be brutal, especially when you're older and looking for something serious. But here's the thing, she said it's hell, but also that it's a choice. She wants a boyfriend, but she can't be bothered. Does she think he's just gonna show up because she decided she wants him?
I get that sometimes people get tired of trying. She's not saying she doesn't want it, she's just exhausted by how much effort it takes. But she's been on 2 fun first dates? 2? That's kind of a red flag. What's going wrong on those dates?
Maybe it's not all her fault bad first dates happen, people don't always vibe. But 2 fun ones out of how many? At some point, you have to wonder if it's the people she's meeting or if it's her approach.
Not everyone's going to click right away, but I get why she's frustrated. She's feeling the pressure of time running out.
but she's acting like she deserves this perfect relationship without doing the work. There's a difference between frustration and expecting things to fall into your lap.
I get that she's venting, but at some point, if you want something different, you have to make a change.
And now she says she wants kids in 2 or 3 years, but can't even get a decent date? How do you plan on having kids when you can't even handle a first date? Do you think babies are just going to show up because you're tired of being single?
Yeah, that part's a bit ambitious. I mean, planning for kids when you haven't even met someone to have them with?
It's not that simple. She's worried time's running out, and I get that. But it's funny, she wants kids, but can't even get a date. Kind of doesn't add up, right?
Yeah, it's like skipping straight to the baby part without even getting to the second date.
So what do you think? Does she have a point, or is she jumping the gun? Let us know in the comments.
Here's how to know if a girl is checking you out. You catch her glancing. If she makes eyes your way more than once, it's no accident. Her friends notice you too. If her friends are looking your way too, you know she's talking about you. She flirts from a distance. When you catch eyes, she smiles or looks away bashfully or plays with her hair. She moves closer. This is so you notice her and make your approach. If you see these signs, go talk to her.
I used to be a girl that was completely okay with splitting the bill, going 50-50 on relationships, whether that's a first date, second date, boyfriend, girlfriend kind of thing, until I realized 2 things that I'm sharing with y'all so that you can learn from my personal mistakes. The first one is, I kept on getting broken up with my guys, and I'd realized that my bank account has like $500 to $1,000 less in it because of the relationship. And that is not an exaggeration. That's not even for like super long-term relationships either. And I was just like, I can afford to do this. I just don't want to. There's better uses for like $1,000 of my money than some man that's going to break my heart. Number 2, and this is the bigger one, if a guy is not willing to pay for a date with you, there is always going to be someone out there he's willing to pay for a date for. I didn't really realize this until I was having a conversation with my boyfriend at the time, who became my ex-boyfriend 24 hours later because he broke up with me on the phone. And he told me that he had gone on like 3 dates with a girl from Hinge, like shortly before we were dating, which is fine. I love talking about dating stories. I think it's fun. And then he said, yeah, I don't know how much longer I could have gone out with her for because I just couldn't afford to anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I knew he wasn't completely broke. And he was like, yeah, like, I had to pay for the dates, and I couldn't have kept on doing that. And I don't really get mad at a lot of things with people anymore, but that just genuinely very upset me because for every date basically we'd been on, it had been kind of 50-50. For anything that he paid for, I offered to pay for the next time, and he gladly accepted and let me do that. So it just baffled me that he paid for 3 dates with somebody that he even said he didn't really like that much and didn't have much in common with. And so after I pressed him on this, I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, was she holding you hostage and like you had to pay? Like, how would it be awkward, like, not to pay? And he did not elaborate beyond that. But I would say personally for me, even if somebody like doesn't have their wallet, like one-time thing, that's fine. But it just really kind of like changed my perspective on something. And after that, I was like, if he didn't break up with me, I would have broken up with him. Anyways, as hurtful as it was at the time, I'm really glad I had that conversation and kind of came to that realization. I realized everyone may not agree with me, but that's fine. These are my experiences. And I actually would like to kind of hear what other people's opinions are, because I feel like this is an interesting kind of issue just in relationships, feminism right now. So I'd love to hear kind of other people's takes and thoughts on splitting the bill.
So how do you usually act on dates? Do you pay or split the bill?
Oh, well, as a true gentleman, I always offer to pay for myself. But if the girl insists, I won't turn down her generosity.
Oh, so you're really testing who's actually willing to pay for you. Pure math.
Well, actually, if someone is genuinely interested, they won't think twice about paying for the date. It's like trading in the market of emotions. The one who invests more wins.
Sounds like a strategic move, right? At some point, you realize your perspective changes, especially when your bank account has $500 less instead of romance.
It's not really about the money, it's how it's all perceived. If someone's not ready to invest in you, someone else definitely will be. And they'd better offer more than just coffee for both.
Oh, so it's like business. If your partner's not interested, it's time to find a new investor. Just make sure next time you're splitting the bill, not just in money, but in emotions.
Or by the amount of coffee you buy on the date. The business plan can always be adjusted.
Exactly. The important thing is not to turn it into a competition of who invests more. Because in the end, the one who pays doesn't always walk away with the win.
Yeah, and here we are talking, but in reality, it's just another chapter in our romantic book with a lot of pages about who paid, when, and why.
Well, let's hear what others think about this. Who's for 50-50 and who's against?
3 signs a woman wants you to approach her. If you don't know these signs, you are missing opportunities. Counting down from number 3. She looks at you, and especially if she keeps looking at you. So quick little eye gazes and she looks away, and especially if she looks at you the second time, she wants you to approach her. Number 2, she gets physically close to you. So if you see her wanting to be near you or making efforts to be closer in proximity to you, another great sign she wants you to approach. And number 1 sign a woman wants you to approach her is she creates opportunities for you. She'll ask you for a favor or think of an excuse to start a conversation, or she'll ask you to reach over and pass her a napkin. Whatever it is, she's opening the door. You just have to walk on in.
If a man wants to go 50-50, it's because he's broke. Majority of the times, he doesn't even have enough money to support himself. So what do these broke men do? These broke boys, they will go and find ambitious single women who are emotionally insecure. And then they love bomb you and they make you think that, oh, this is what relationships are about. You're supposed to get with someone in the name of love, and then you build life together. And in the end, when you help him become the man he wants to be, when you help his bank account upgrade, that's when he leaves you and he goes and finds himself a feminine energy woman. So do not be a woman who builds a man up. Instead, be a woman who is in her feminine energy so that you can be with a man who's already established. So you're not the one being left and after being used and wasted your time, energy, and money to help build someone's dusty sun. Instead, be with a well-established or already established healthy masculine energy man who wants to provide for you. If you're ready to go from attracting lazy, broke man-childs to attracting high-quality, provider mindset, healthy masculine men, I highly, highly encourage you to check out the link in my bio and download my free dating guide.
Oh, come on. Do you really think that every guy who suggests a 50-50 split is like that? Yeah, sometimes a guy might not have a ton of money, but calling him poor or using him for his potential? That's a bit much. Not all guys are sitting around waiting for a woman to build them up.
Well, there's some truth to that. Think about it. Many men who are actually serious and ready to commit aren't going to mind covering the costs, right? I mean, if he can't even pay for dinner, how is he going to handle bigger things in a relationship?
Okay, I get what you're saying, but hold on. There are plenty of guys who are fine with splitting the bill just because it's more practical. It doesn't mean they're broke or anything. I've seen plenty of people split the check on dates just so it doesn't turn into a who pays contest. It's not all about money.
I get your point, but when you put everything into it emotionally, financially, and then he just leaves when he levels up, that must hurt. It's like you're investing in his growth and someone else gets to benefit from it.
But look, if someone bails out that quickly after everything is set, maybe that's not about the 50-50 thing, but more about a red flag with him. Relationships are about both people putting in the effort, not just one person doing all the heavy lifting. You can't blame the guy for not being ready to handle everything financially right away. It's not just about money, it's about growing together,
True, but there's a difference between building together and just being a stepping stone. No one wants to feel like they put all their energy into someone who wasn't serious from the start.
Well, look, if a guy's really into you, he's not just going to drop you once things are going well. It's about both people making an effort, but you can't judge all guys by the same standard. Some of us actually want 50-50 because for us, it's about balance, not just who spends more. Everyone has their reasons.
Agreed, but one thing's for sure, if you're not at least paying for dinner once, you're probably not getting dessert. Just saying.
Agreed, but if a guy's paying for dinner, then I definitely won't be sharing dessert with you.
Girlfriend?
Nah.
A baby mom?
Nah.
Kids?
Nothing.
Toxic ex?
No.
Are you the toxic ex?
Nah.
No. What's your sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
Oh!
Cheated many times. Trust me, every woman I've been with, cheat all the time.
Why do you feel like girls like a player more than they like a nice guy?
Let's be real. Okay, let's be real. Women only want nice guys when they're sad. Give me that. They want bad guys when they're happy. As soon as the sadness is done, they're right back to the bad guys.
All these men who want to go 50-50 with the woman are the same men who complain that she's not feminine enough. Here's what I have to say about it as a dating coach. And if you're seeing me for the first time, hi, my name is Shanza. I am a dating coach. I have helped numerous women go from single to married. And here's the thing. I am anti 50-50 100%. My husband is a sole provider. Even though I run my own business, even though I have my own money, my man is the one taking care of all the bills, the leadership, the initiation. He is full masculine energy, and that's how I prefer it. Because I was definitely a 50-50 girl myself before, and it really took a toll on my physical health, my mental health, and it took me out of my feminine energy, and I really felt like I was stuck in survival mode, and it was extremely unattractive. And 50-50 is what causes problems in relationships, because the men, again, the same men, it's like the podcast men, right? They talk about how women should be a partner and the woman should go half and half, except that they are unable to maintain their end of the barter. They do not go half and half on chores. They actually are the ones that then want you to be more feminine. They want you to not talk back. They want you to not make them feel controlled. But in actuality, if I'm paying half the bills, then I am asking you questions about what you're doing with your money. And, I am coming at you like a partner, and I will ask you questions because money's involved. Bottom line, even though men say they want a partner and they want a woman that will go 50-50 with them because the economy is so hard and yada, 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 don't listen to them. Don't get out of your feminine energy just to keep a man. It's not worth it.
Oh, so what she's really saying here is my money is mine and his money is also mine. Classic move, right? Wrap it all up in feminine energy and suddenly it's justified?
I mean, it's not just about that. She's emphasizing the importance of feeling supported and not losing that feminine side. Some women find it exhausting when they're doing 50-50 and still expected to manage everything else.
But here's the thing, she's working too, right? So it's not like she's living in some traditional setup. She's asking for a guy to carry everything, but she's still independent. Sounds a bit convenient to me.
Well, maybe she's saying that men today just don't share the load at home as much as they think they do. Some women do end up with most of the responsibilities, even if they're both working.
Come on. Most men these days know how to pull their weight around the house, even when they're the primary earners. It's 2024. It's not like the Leave It to Beaver days anymore. And honestly, with the cost of living, most guys just don't have the luxury to fully support a household alone.
Fair point. Still, there's truth in wanting to feel balanced and not overwhelmed. I think a lot of people get caught up in ideals and forget relationships are about compromise, not setting up the other person to just provide.
Exactly. If she's working, then both should be contributing, period. There's a difference between wanting support and just looking for someone to fund your lifestyle. That's where things get messy.
So, viewers, what do you think? Is it wrong for her to want this kind of dynamic, or should both partners be putting in equal effort? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
I personally think dating apps should only be for people who actually want to date. Get off if you don't want to date. I feel like Tinder is kind of known as the hookup app, so okay, sure, you can go on there, but get off Hinge. Hinge is for dating. Don't go on there if you just want to hook up or find someone to Snapchat back and forth with. Get off. Respectfully. Or someone says that they're looking for a long-term relationship, but then they either literally don't respond when you're like trying to get to know them or plan a date, or they ask for your Snapchat. A grown-ass man should not be asking for my Snapchat. I love finding Michael, 27, unemployed, who's looking for short-term fun. Like, respectfully, Michael, respectfully, I think you're a little too old for that. Like, why would you not want a relationship? And he lives in his mom's basement, and he doesn't have a car either, so you have to pick him up, and then unfortunately on the date he's going to have forgotten his wallet. But
just short-term fun, not looking for a relationship. No.
Okay, seriously, I just don't get how you can complain about stuff like this. I mean, what do you even want? You choose who you date. You can just not go on dates with people you don't like. Like, really, why are you even on these apps if you don't like the people you're matching with? You can filter them out, but then still complain.
Yeah, exactly. It's so obvious. You choose them and then whine about the guy not being what you imagined. Well, that's not his fault, it's yours. You're going on dates with guys who don't meet your expectations. Seriously, how can you expect a guy who has no car, no job, to be ready for serious relationships with you?
Yeah, and then there's the whole thing when the guy can't even pay for dinner but still wants short-term fun. It's just ridiculous. And honestly, it's also childish. I want a relationship, but only if you pay for everything. What is that even? Like, really? Then they still complain that things aren't working out, but they're choosing these guys. Come on.
Exactly. You're choosing them and then complaining about the result. It's like you pick a guy who has no money, nothing worth offering, and then complain that he doesn't want a serious relationship. You're literally creating your own problems. You can't just demand stuff from people if you pick guys who don't match what you want.
And then these girls always picking chads with perfect genes and then whining that they don't want a relationship. Like, if this guy could offer anything, I'd understand. But nope, they're still out here searching for some ideal and then face the reality that they just want one thing and it's not a relationship. I just can't even.
And that's really the thing. As a woman, you're always in the position of power. You can filter, you can choose, while the guy has to pay for the app and hope someone even notices him. So who really has more power here? Obviously, it's you. All right, we've come to the end of this wild ride, but before we wrap things up, here's a juicy question for you all. What's your take on women who say they won't date dusty men, but then end up dating guys with literally no future? Do you think women are too picky, or is it that they just don't know what they really want? Let me know what you think in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts.
And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up with subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Your support helps us keep bringing the heat, and trust me, we've got so much more coming your way. Catch you in the next one.
Каждый миг как новый старт. Просыпаюсь, делаю шаг. Этот город ждет меня в ритме улиц. Шумит дня, словно битву шаг. Звучит, движемся вперед, не сбавляя ход. Мысли чисты, все решено. Я готов к новому витку. Morning vibes, это мой настрой. В этом мире мы с тобой, светит солнце, новый день зовет. Morning vibes, весь мир поет. Ловлю ритм, это весь прикол. Каждый день как новый рок-н-ролл. Morning vibes, это наш маршрут. В этом ритме мы живем и тут. Morning vibes, это наш маршрут. В этом ритме мы живем и тут. Светит солнце, путь освещен. Я иду, не важно, что за окном. Morning vibes, все,